Tribunal in Dhaka accused Hasina of systematic attacks on protesters against her government. The UN says nearly 1,400 people were killed between July and August last year when Hasina's government launched a crackdown on demonstrators. Hasina has been in exile in India for 10 months. She says the charges are politically motivated. Well, still ahead here on Al Jazeera. The wait for aid is over. Our correspondent has the latest from a Nigerian town devastated by flooding.
I'm Katrina Yu reporting from the Yangtze River in China, where stocks of fish and wildlife are returning after a 2-decade-long cleanup effort.
June on Al Jazeera.
Despite the promise of peace talks, the Ukraine war grinds on. Can the Trump administration deliver a breakthrough?
Fault Lines reveals how the mass deportation of Asians from the Dominican Republic is tearing families apart and spreading fear.
South Korea ousts the president who tried to impose martial law. Can the country's new leader stabilize the economy after months of turmoil?
Fight for the Pacific explores rising US-China tensions and their impact on the Pacific Islands, told through the voices of islanders.
A powerful display of faith and unity. Millions of Muslims gather in Mecca for Hajj, one of the world's largest religious pilgrimages.
June on Al Jazeera. In-depth analysis of the day's headlines.
What powers the UN does and does not have right now.
Critical debate.
Is this basically conflict born out of the colonial legacy?
Well, I think you can put it that way.
Informed opinions.
Sudan's humanitarian envelope has been consistently underfunded, which was not the case, for example, for Ukraine.
Inside Story on Al Jazeera.
You're watching Al Jazeera. A reminder of our top stories this hour. Conservative candidate Karol Nawrocki has won Poland's presidential runoff by a razor-slim majority. He won just over 50% of the vote, just ahead of his Liberal rival, Warsaw Mayor Rafał Trzaskowski. The result is a major blow for Poland's pro-European Union government. Israeli forces have intensified attacks on Palestinians, many of them living in makeshift shelters at both ends of the Gaza Strip. The latest strikes hit tents housing displaced people in the south. At least 4 people were killed in artillery shelling in Al-Mawasi near Khan Yunis. And several people have been injured after an attack in the US city of Boulder. It happened during a march in solidarity with Israeli captives in Gaza. Police have detained a male suspect. Aid started to trickle into a central Nigerian town devastated by flooding. Emergency workers are searching for bodies buried under the debris. At least 200 people have been killed and many more are still missing. Ahmed Idris has more from Mokwa.
After a 4-day wait, help is finally here for hundreds of survivors. Dozens struggle to receive bags of rice. There were also plastic mats to sleep on. But the priority for most is food. It's the first time they receive any assistance from the authorities.
As it comes, we distribute. Because if we say we are going to wait till we got all the relief materials, most especially food, because the principal thing now is food.
Providing adequate shelter could take weeks or months. For now, victims live in unsafe buildings. Religious school student Omar Mahmoud scavenges for scrap metals to sell. He narrowly escaped drowning, but his 3 friends didn't make it.
As we tried to escape, they fell and were swept away.
Their bodies were never found. His teachers look after 870 students, most of whom survived. There have been some deaths, but dozens are still unaccounted for.
The losses here are substantial. We are all devastated.
He hopes those missing are still alive. An excavator has arrived at last to not only clear debris, but to find bodies. The delay in removing bodies trapped under the debris poses serious health risk. People here are already reporting the heavy stench of decomposing corpses, raising fears of contamination of food and water sources. The flood arrived early in central Nigeria this year, catching officials ill-prepared. It took days to get relief aid to survivors. People here hope that when the peak of the rainy season arrives, officials will be better prepared. Ahmed Idris, Al Jazeera, Mokwa, Nigeria.
Pakistan sweltering under a heat wave, with weather experts warning temperatures could reach 50 degrees Celsius in the south. It's one of the world's most vulnerable countries to the effects of climate change. Well, Kamal Haider is in Islamabad. And Kamal, can you just give us an idea of how hot it is there right now?
Well, Islamabad, the temperatures have come down because of rain a few days ago. However, we cannot say the same for the southern belt, because Pakistan, it should be remembered, is one of the most climatically diverse countries in the world, and temperatures in the southern belt are really high because of global warming and climate change. Balochistan, southern Punjab, and Sindh are experiencing a heat wave, which with the temperatures going up to almost 50 degrees, and the warnings, of course, are still in place. Now, Pakistan has been one of the countries which has seen record temperatures over the past few years, several degrees above the normal temperatures. And of course, now the meteorological department is warning that these temperatures are likely to rise even further. It's one of the hottest places in the world. The mercury is in the high 40s. Sometimes it reaches 50 degrees Celsius here in Pakistan's Jacobabad region, as the nation comes to grips with the threat of a soaring heat wave. But for these daily laborers, it's just another day of work. They're busy making bricks at a local factory. With few opportunities for employment, laborers in the southern regions face the brunt of a merciless summer heat to earn a living. Here in Jacobabad, people are facing a double challenge, dealing with the heat and lack of clean drinking water. An old water distribution system and neglect by the authorities is now forcing people to buy water for their daily needs.
We're forced to buy water and it's a strain on our expenses. We have to contend with just dry bread to survive, and no one cares about us. This is a great injustice.
As temperatures rise, hospitals are dealing with increasing cases of heat stroke and related illnesses. Pakistan remains one of the most vulnerable countries to the effect of global warming. And it's not just limited to cities but on the farms as well, where they grow fresh produce and fruits.
I think mango has already been affected because during the germination period there was the temperature much higher than that. So if the temperature remains, you can say that normal, that does affect to the mangoes in the southern Punjab or even that in the Sindh area.
May and June are the warmest months in Pakistan, and May until mid-June we experience extreme heat wave conditions in central parts of the country, particularly in parts of Sindh and Balochistan. So heat waves have a very much a negative impact on the human life as well, on the agriculture and normal patterns of life as well.
A heat wave in Pakistan in June last year killed more than 560 people in the south. Roadside relief camps and vendors offer some respite. Environmentalists blame urbanization and poor building design, which traps the heat, creating what's known as heat islands. A lack of tree cover is also leading to rising surface temperatures, turning fertile fields into wasteland. Pakistan's meteorological department has warned of heat waves across the southern belt, with temperatures touching 50 Celsius, causing surface temperatures to rise to dangerous levels and posing a threat to life and livelihoods. Kamal Haider, Al Jazeera, Islamabad.
China has been working to revive one of its most important river systems. The Yangtze has become more polluted as a result of China's rapid urban development. But the tide is turning, as Katrina Yu reports from Wushan County in Chongqing.
The Yangtze River is one of the longest in the world. Cutting across central China and flowing east, it's been a lifeline for people living here for thousands of years. Dai Di operates this cleanup boat 11 hours a day. He says he's ensuring the Yangtze will continue to provide for generations to come.
The water quality is better. There's much less garbage. There used to be a lot of floating objects on the surface. You can see the color of the water is different now. It's clean.
But the river didn't always look so pristine. Just 8 years ago, parts of it looked like this. Rapid urbanization improved people's standard of living, but had the opposite effect on the health of the river. This region was once poor and very underdeveloped. It's come a long way, but the industries that helped to contribute to its progress also devastated the Yangtze River system. The government set a target to clean up the river's ecological system by 2025. The plan included closing or relocating 9,000 factories and finding new ways to deal with growing household waste. This incineration plant processes 4,500 tons of garbage daily, using it to generate electricity.
A large amount of garbage in this municipality was disposed of in landfills, which still has some hidden dangers. Now all garbage is incinerated. This is the best way to utilize our resources.
The government also initiated a 10-year ban on fishing. Its efforts are paying off. Chemical pollutants have drastically reduced, and water quality has reached the second highest level in the country's 5-tier system. But challenges remain. The Yangtze's Three Gorges Dam, the largest hydropower project in the world, has reduced flooding but continues to affect biodiversity. China's breakneck modernization is another. 400 million people live along the Yangtze.